All right, everybody, it has begun. That's right, folks. Analogue has done it once again. We have some special editions that are rising up. That's right. So, today, everybody on the 6, or are they on the 6? We don't know. But definitely, the Analogue 3D has shown to be an awesome system. So far, everybody in the world has almost bought this thing. No, technically, let's be honest here, a lot of people actually don't know about the Analogue 3D, and I'm here to just shed a little bit of light on that. See, the thing is I have asked some people, and they did not know. I have a friend that has probably about 50 or 60 Super Nintendo, he's got a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games, and he's got a lot of Nintendo 64s, and he didn't even know about the Analogue 3D, that it plays 4K. So I said, do you ever watch YouTube? He goes, no. And I said, well, what the hell are you watching? He goes, Netflix. I go, oh, no wonder. So let's go back here real quick. First off, the prototype edition has dropped today. And I think one reason why the sales is not all there is for multiple reasons. Let's put this out there real quick. We all know that this would sell out with hotcakes, but they just released a whole bunch of their systems in December, and then in December they came out of nowhere and said, hey, we got Funtastics, with very little warning and very little knowledge that they were coming out with that. Like, we had no idea. Like, it would have been good if you had been like, hey, next month we're going to be releasing the Funtastics for the new year. Get ready, and something like that. And that would have drawn up and maybe gave them time to get more of them, because we all know that they didn't have enough numbers there, really. It may have been like in the hundreds per console. And how do I know this? Well, see, there's someone that said something that there's not a high demand for this. Well, actually there is, and you just don't know it. The thing is not everybody knows about this console. Not everybody. In fact, hardly anybody. It really does take... Here's the problem with America. In America, it used to be that you would go to the mall to find out what's going on, And they'd be like, I found this at the mall, Well, this day and age, it's everybody's phone, So, it did go across my phone, but it doesn't reach everybody. It's only... Google has a problem. Google only shows what you're usually interested in or what you're looking at. So, if you only look at sports and football, it's going to give you sports and football. It's not going to give you Analogue 3D and their stuff. So marketing can be kind of hard because they rely on a program to send it out to you. And this day and age, it's kind of harder for everybody to get the word out in many aspects, actually. First off, how did I find out about Analogue? Well, I am going to have to tell you, Mad Little Pixel was maybe right what he said today, but he's a little in the wrong in some instances, but I still love the guy. What can I say? So, it was him that, originally I heard that there was going to be, that there was a Super Nintendo that could play on HD TVs. And I was like, no way, get out of here. I had just bought the Super Nintendo Mini and the Nintendo Mini, And I was like, this is what we need in life. you know, because I can't play my old games on the new TVs. It looks too dark because the signal has to have more power. It needs power to... It takes a lot more voltage, a lot more power to send a good signal to the TV. Otherwise, it's dark and looks horrible. So, you know, I was like, I didn't even know, you know. And so I came across Mad Little Pixel, and he had a Super NT or something, and I was like, what the hell is that? And then I did some research, and they were all sold out. You son of a bitch. You know what I mean? So you have to develop a name for yourself before you can really become something, you know. And it's hard to do that this day and age. Now, technically, this should be global. This should be going everywhere in the world, if I'm correct. But I don't know, you know. Do they only ship to the U.S. or what? I don't know. Is this sales towards the U.S.? We have no idea. So tonight's episode, we're discussing some of these things that are highly important. So the real nostalgia starts right here, guys. The reality. Okay? The reality is that we wanted to see our old video games come back. You know? Like Xbox and PlayStation try to do. But there's a problem. It's Nintendo. So Nintendo, they'll go generations before they come back out with a version of it. Now, Nintendo wants you to do a subscription these days to play your old games. You go to hell on that. But the reality is we wanted Nintendo to make Ocarina of Time. We wanted them to do Majora's Mask. We wanted them to bring back some of the old games. But the reality is it was the real nostalgia of the mini consoles that struck up all of this action. See, the action was kind of like, hey man, a mini Nintendo, a mini Super Nintendo, a mini Sega Genesis. This is awesome. It can play on my 4K TV and it looks great. It has all these games preloaded. We were hoping that Nintendo would make a mini Nintendo 64. But they never did. And they have all these reasons why. You know, people can talk all the smack they want, but we know why. Nintendo has lost its way, people. First off, they're coming back out with, or already came out with, the Virtual Boy, which sucked ass. Had horrible sales. Well, let's come back out with that again. Ha! Like, who in the hell is going to buy that? First off, the only people that are going to buy that is going to be collectors. Okay? Let's be honest here. That's right, folks. The collectors. No. I did not buy one. Okay? I am a hardcore collector, guys. But I'm not that hardcore. There's a big difference here, people. So, today's story of the story is I kept wanting and looking, and I would search online. And I did this before I really heard about Analogue. I kept searching. So I kept searching, are they making a Nintendo 64 4K or something, or a mini? It was always, I was typing in the words mini console, you know, into the search browser all the time, every year, several times a month. Did it forever. Oh yeah. And it kept saying it kept saying that somebody has it in the works. And this company named Analogue has it in the works or something. I'm like, who in the fuck is Analogue? I don't even know, you know. Or at some point it came up as Analogue, that people were talking about it and this and that. And a console that can play it. So finally, Analogue pulled it off. So hats off to you motherfuckers. You did a good job. However, now, you have a clientele base. You have a base of people that want your products now, that know about you. But I can tell you for sure right now that there are a lot of people that have no idea that you exist. I have been testing out this theory. So this is real simple. For all of you guys out there, next time when you go to the store and you meet another gamer, or you go out to your game stores, or go to your GameStop. Oh, the GameStop, let's not talk about that shit. Holy moly. Because what's really going to happen here is you're going to go into GameStop and ask one of those girls or one of those Fruit Loop guys, and you're going to be like, hey, you guys got an Analogue 3D up in here? And they're going to say, what is that? In fact, I'm almost half tempted to take my camera and go record it and prove you wrong if you try to, because a lot of them really don't know what it is. So there's actually a lot of video game stores, and they don't even know. Oh, yeah. I could name a place, but if I named a place, it'd tell you exactly where in the hell I am. We're not about to do that. So, I'm just telling you some facts, some hard facts right now. So, okay. So, Analogue, you guys have your work cut out for you. Apparently, we know that today these consoles are still for sale as of right now. It says right here in the bottom, available now. If you click right here, you're going to see none of them say sold out. So like I was saying, all of these say they're available. So the Ghost is available. The Glacier is available. We have the Extreme Green, which has sold quite a bit from what I hear. The Atomic Purple, what a classic idea to match up with Atomic Purple. And then the Ocean Color. Now I do like the blue, and I do like them all, and I would love to buy them all, and I could buy them all. But the reality is we can't, okay, I have a lot of analogs. What am I going to do with all that? Now, part of the idea is the kid will have one, I'll have one. We'll have one upstairs, downstairs, and everywhere, which is awesome. This is great for a kid that's growing up. It really is. It helps put those old video games to use, folks. But the thing is, when you think about it, Nintendo is at fault. They should have done this a long time ago and we wouldn't have a problem. But no, we got to rely on other people to do what lazy Nintendo can't do. Like, for instance, we're waiting for the announcement from Nintendo right now. Everybody is. Like, what is Nintendo going to tell us? How many people have you seen online talk about this shit? That are we getting a remake of Ocarina of Time, whatever you want to call it? Are we getting a Majora's Mask? Are we getting any of that? Their words are probably going to be, well, it's in the subscriptions, go play there. Well, Nintendo, you don't get it then. You really don't. So, what's going to nullify all of these consoles is if Nintendo starts coming out with remakes of their old stuff. That's going to put a damper on a lot of these consoles that just popped out. But you better get while the getting's good, everybody. So the reason why these consoles are still here and still available to purchase is because of the fact that A, you just dropped them in December with the people that knew about you and found out about you, and then B, you dropped a whole bunch of Funtastics out of nowhere without letting us know. We had 3 days to figure out what the hell. Like, if I didn't catch it, if I was sick or if I was gone or doing something, I would have missed it. I wouldn't have known about it. And then I would have been pissed. And then this one did the same thing. We had no idea. Friday they announced it and said, hey, we're dropping them on Monday. Boom! Well, of course I was there at first thing at 10 o'clock. They said 8 o'clock. You know what I mean. I was there. I expected these things to sell out right away. Whenever I made a first click on it, it said, "We have secured your position." And that was the first time I ever seen that, which is good. That is good. They also had this little color match thing. You got to match up the stuff, match up the, when it's a buying spree, it's a buying spree. It's probably not a good idea to put some bullshit in there about what is the object on the page, circle it. But okay, they're trying to prevent bots from buying these. I get it. But, these are all still available, everybody. Everybody out there. So, what will sell? Well, we know the green is going to sell, and we know this ghost is pretty nifty. It might be selling up, but since it's kind of close to blue, I think I'll be good with that. And I think that this green, I'll be good with that. But the reality here is, the blue is really cool, but, I mean, technically there's so many versions of blue you could do. And this glacier white thing is kind of cool, but I already have a white one. I don't know. There's so much to say about this. And then the atomic purple is almost like a must-have to match up with the old-fashioned days of atomic purple, which will sell. So atomic purple and the green and the ghost would probably be the highest hitters, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the blue didn't hit high as well. The only one I see not hitting high is probably the glacier. It is really cool. I don't know. They're all actually cool. But the thing is I think Analogue's trying to get their stuff out before and get the sales before Mod Retro and the M64 come out, because when the M64 comes out, it's going to be their stuff instead of Analogue stuff. And the thing is we've already spent money on the first console. We've spent money on the Funtastic console, and so when you smash them all together, then you have these. So technically, for those people that didn't get to get a colored console of the Funtastics, you could get one of these, which is just as cool as the Funtastics. Problem is the Funtastics had a lot of cool colors. You had fire, you had red, you had all these cool colors. That's what we kind of like, is cool colors. So that was going to sell. You could put more Funtastics out and they will sell. People really wanted those. I wanted them, and I got screwed trying to make my purchase because every time I'd throw it in the cart, it'd say sold out. I'd throw it in the cart, go to pay out, in the middle of putting in the numbers or whatever, sold out. What? An item in your cart has sold out. I'm gonna kill you. So it's that made me mad. I was, they actually, the Funtastics, they sold out in like 15 to 20 minutes. I know, what's his name? Mad Little Pixel said something today. He said it was like an hour and 30 minutes for them all to sell out. No, not really. Basically, they all sold out real fast. But you had where orders that didn't process and orders that got kicked, or orders that gave me the bullshit runaround, then they went back up on the line to be sold and reopened, So something like that happened, It's like, oh man, we got like 40 of them or something, and these credit cards failed or this or that. The problem with Analogue is they are in Hong Kong, China, so whenever you go to buy something, your credit card may kick it. So before you purchase from these guys, you have to call your credit card company and tell them, I'm buying from China. Now, this is a thing, and people don't know that. They don't. Even if you, like, say you have a $50,000 credit card limit, it'll still block it. You basically have what's known as a travel. So you have to turn the travel thing on or out of country thing on, you know, because websites and stuff, you know, you got to call them either way, something like that. So whenever I first went to Las Vegas, I had all my cards with me, and that's when I found out the hard way. Oh, I have to call my card company and tell them I'm traveling. None of my cards work. That's right, folks. So whenever you go to travel, for those of you who have credit cards new, think about that before you travel. You have to call your card company. It's usually like 100 or something mile radius. Some say like 50-mile radius from where your house is, where your address is. So keep that in mind. Anyways, today, these are still for sale, everybody. Everybody, I would advise you, if you want some really cool consoles, to get out there and get them while you can. Once these are gone, that is it. Okay? Now, originally it said highly limited. Now, the thing is the controllers are still available for the Funtastics. So down here, I have this controller coming today or tomorrow. It should have been here. I'm not happy. But anyways, these controllers right here are still available, everybody. You can get these still. I know it says limited editions, but here's the reason why these controllers are not selling. These controllers is because we've already bought a whole bunch of black and white controllers, and then the game collectors or the collectors have already bought what they wanted out of this. And I bought many of these, which I have not went over yet. I've only went over 2 of them, so thank you. But I did not buy the jungle one, and I have a jungle console, which you guys have not seen. The grape, I have the gold and the fire and the watermelon. I did not buy the other consoles. I'm not buying off of eBay. I am not paying that much money. You must be out of your freaking mind. Now, a lot of the people that I bought from priced these consoles a little too low. And it's kind of like what Mad Little Pixel was saying. Unfortunately, it's true. It's so sad. I really wish they would have made more of them so people didn't have to go on eBay, but I thank my eBay people for having them. So we do need people like eBay, unfortunately. So all these controllers are available for the Funtastics, okay? So if you guys are still looking, the only problem with these controllers, okay, the problem with the 8-bit controllers is you have to update them in order to use it. That's a problem. You can't just take it out of the box and play with it right off the bat. Not everybody owns a computer or a way to update their controller, just so you know. Now, the Analogue 3D can play with the old original Nintendo 64 controllers, and it can play with, what is that? The Nintendo wireless controllers and the new controller that Nintendo makes for the Switch. I don't know. Anyways, I'm sure that many other Bluetooth controllers can match up to that thing. I'm not all about wireless. I'm actually old-fashioned wired. I love wired because wired, you know you're getting the signal without a problem. But this day and age, technology is far more advanced. Back in the day, wireless sucked ass. Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about that Wavebird. Oh, shit. Anyways, so, yeah, this day and age, your controller can be all the way across the room and still play the game just fine. I don't know about doing stuff like, say, Mario Party, though, across the damn room. You know what I mean? So, anyways, so we have these consoles here still available today. It is like, I'd say it, but it's probably going to be it's probably going to take a few days for these to sell out. Not everybody knows. And now that these are available, that's even better. Okay? Because that means people that missed out can actually go and get them. So Mad Little Pixel, get your ass in here and buy the damn thing and stop bitching about the damn, not getting your Funtastics that you wanted. I know you wanted the Funtastics color. Just go ahead and pull the trigger on eBay. I know if you don't get while the getting's good, the getting is over with. Okay? And there is a little secret I am going to release closer to the end of this, so that way you guys know. I don't know if you guys made it this far in the video. You may have clicked off like some sort of dumbass would do. So, let's get to the point here. Obviously, these consoles are available. You know that whenever you go up here and you click on Editions, you're going to see that there is the Analogue prototypes. Then you go down, you see the Funtastics, but they're sold out. It says sold out right here. And you see that there are, the pockets are there, the pockets are there, the pockets are there. They did update their webpage, but I'm stopping right here, everybody. Do you see a little thing going on here? I got this feeling, okay, that they might come out with a glow-in-the-dark Analogue 3D. But I could be wrong. They might do it, though. Depends. If this stuff is selling out, they might do it. Now, the thing is a majority of people have already bought the Analogue 3D, and they're kind of broke from Christmas, and they're kind of broke from buying the Analogue, and collectors right now, you'll notice that eBay doesn't have a whole bunch of scalpers scalping the new prototypes because they're not as hot as the Funtastics, and because the Funtastics, you dropped them so fast, and everybody was like, oh, these are going to be limited as hell. Well, then they figure they're going to scalp that stuff up to $1,000. So all of you people that have an Analogue on eBay right now, hold tight, because in the next few years it's going to be worth a lot. Trust me on that. Now, I'm thinking they're going to be coming out with the Ghost, the glow-in-the-dark. Let's just say Ghost, because it looks like a ghost. So this is an idea that they might be doing next. Just saying. And then the strange fact is, why would you have this on here? Like I said last time, are they going to be coming back out with some Sega Genesis? And are you going to be coming back out with the Super Nintendo? Now, I really have to say that they could do the Super Nintendo in multiple colors or all kinds of cool stuff, special edition, and I'm going to buy it. You damn right I will. And I've been trying to get the word out there about these people. The word has spread, like I was saying about the story. Okay? I didn't know that there was a company. It took forever, and when I found out, really the first console that I bought from these guys was the TurboGrafx 16. It's actually a great system, and it is something that I would suggest if you have TurboGrafx games. Does it show it? So the very first one I bought was this. That's because I have a TurboGrafx, and I have a lot of TurboGrafx games, and I'm pretty pissed off. So these guys didn't catch my attention until then. I heard something about this Super Nintendo, and when I came to check it out, it was sold out. Wow. What a stab in the ass, huh? The Pocket, sold out. Well, imagine that. But this TurboGrafx became available, and I bought that damn thing. That's right, folks. The Pocket needs to come back out to be competitive against M64 themselves. So they need to have something special edition about this. Make it neat, make it cool, make it live. You know what I'm saying? Do something different. Do like change up the buttons, the colors of the buttons. Do all kinds of cool stuff with it. Go crazy with the design. And then this Analogue 3D will continue to sell, but everybody is waiting to try out the M64 to see what they did. Now, M64 is going to try to beat Analogue 3D by producing a console that does everything Analogue does. So they kind of waited and seen, he does a lot of talking, but I'm telling you right now, he wanted to get it out there before Christmas, and he couldn't do it. Nobody could. Analogue really wasn't going to produce it by Christmas, but they forced it. They did it. They did it. Now, Analogue is getting your business there, and they're doing a good job at it. The thing is it's a shame we did not sell these prototypes off the hook today. Now Mad Little Pixel was saying something about, hey, it's probably because of this. Yeah, well, the reality here is we've all bought it, and not everybody knows about it, for one thing. I can tell you right now, if I go tell some of my people, some of the people that I know that have a lot of these, they're going to buy that shit right off the hook. And they'll probably buy every damn color there is. If I go down to the comic book store and tell them right now about this prototype being out, they're going to be like, what? And I said, dude, they're collectibles. They will go and buy every one of these and stock their shelves with them right now. I know. They will. So, the thing is I figured if I kept my mouth shut with certain people, they wouldn't buy it out from under me. I want to get it before they get it. So, yeah. It's really hard out there in the market, but China is really helping you by making stuff like this, people. Okay? I thought that, hey, man, we can just play our old games on the PC. Yeah, but it's not. What are you going to do? You going to whip out a PC for your little kid to play? Hell no, you're not. You going to give that to your 8-year-old? Hell no, you're not. No. And, those emulating consoles that you buy off of Amazon, those are freaking awesome. But some of them don't have sound, or some of them don't have something. So, for the old game collectors out there, a lot of people are getting older, and so they're selling their collections and hoping that the next guys down the line will buy it up. It's turned into a collecting business right now, and Analogue has boosted the sales of Nintendo 64 games out the ass on eBay. There's a lot of people buying that shit up right now. I'm not one of them, just so you know. I am not. No. I bought a few games before the console came out, and I bought just a few games after it came out, and that was it. I don't need any more games. I'm telling you right now. When the collection takes up a whole wall, there's a problem. Okay? So, as far as all of you go out there, hit it up. Get one of these while you can. I'm going to be having some unboxing of some of these consoles. And we're also going to be going over some controllers here. I also have a whole bunch of other gaming stuff, and then a whole bunch of Baby Beans videos, because Beans is awesome. You got to have the kid out there. The kid is something, you know what I mean? You can't just have video games. YouTube needs to kind of change their methodical reasons in reality. You know what I mean? Like, they want you to find your niche, right? Well, you go to hell. It's 2026, okay? Mad Money Mike is no longer Mad Money Mike. Just so you know. You got everybody in the damn world copying what he does to make money on YouTube. That's so stupid. Come on. You know? But the girls still win. There's a lot of women out there that still show their legs, and they get in a lot of views. So, you know, there's that. But a lot of people find themselves watching comedy, interesting things, and cops. You know, a lot of people venture that way. You know, I love YouTube, and I think it's a future for everybody. And I think they need to give up on the whole niche thing. Like, there's a guy that eats food, bearded meats or meat beard, whatever in the hell he is. And I'll give it to you, he can't do that forever. So his channel, I give him another 5 years. He even mentioned something in his last video. Oh, there's only a few years left of doing this. Yeah, because you're going to give yourself a coronary. You're going to die. You can kill yourself doing that shit, just so you know. You can't eat food like that. I'm telling you right now. You're going to have to turn around and throw that shit up, just so you know. So, I keep it real. I think that diversity in one channel is better than separating channels. How would you like it if I separated my channel into 50 channels? You know? So, imagine in 20 years from now, me having 20 channels to click on. No, one channel has it all, motherfucker. So, anyways, we're going to be getting to a lot of stuff. Check out this fantastic thing, you know, the prototypes, everything. Get it while you can. Buy it for someone. Now is the time. If you know somebody that has a collection of Nintendo 64s and they don't know about this, maybe you might want to let them know, or you buy it for them for Christmas or their birthday. Because this is the last time you're going to see these things up here. Okay? And it couldn't be so bad, could it? You know? But M64 is coming out, so there's competition. That's why they need to get this shit out. They need to get it out while it can. Because M64 is coming strong, and they're going to try to do... The one main problem with the controller is you can't attach all the attachments. Your old memory cards... Your old transfer pack for your Game Boy? No, you can't. But there are other ways to do that. You can hook up your old controllers, and there's other ways. But just saying, okay? So, for all of you out there, thanks for watching tonight. I'm sorry, but I have to tell you everything. I have to let you know. So, thanks for your time. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Subscribe.
Zombie Apocalypse.